What's up, y'all? I'm gonna be real with you. Sony pissing me off. Like it just is what it is. And it's pissing me off because, you know, obviously the Sony A7R5 just dropped today, right? We already know it's better than the A7S III. In some ways, not dynamic range, and it also still has crops in certain modes that the A7S III doesn't. So cool, right? All right, cool. But in other ways, it's like, damn, bro, like damn, Sony, can we just get just a little love on the Sony A7S III? And what I'm coming to see is between the FX30, the Sony A7R5, and the FX3, and the Sony A7 IV, 4 cameras, in the past 2 years that it's come out, the Sony A7S line is dead. Out the gate, I think the Sony A7S III has had only about 2 to 3 updates. And the last update they gave, which was just improved autofocus. Don't get me wrong, the autofocus was improved. I give you that. But damn, Sony, like the A7 IV gap, you know what I'm saying? Focus compensation breathing. When you know what I'm saying? The shutter closes when you take lenses off. Variable shutter, so when you like shooting in high flickered environments, you can adjust the variable frame rate. So you can adjust the variable shutter to make it like 48.6 or whatever the case is, right? You can actually turn on eye autofocus while you're recording. I mean, there's so many things the A7 IV can do that the A7S III cannot do, and it's just like, damn, bro, like I paid, you know what I'm saying, $1,000 more for this camera. What's up? Like, you know what I'm saying? And to be clear here, I love my A7S III. I did a video about how much I love my A7S III after 18 months of using it. You know what I'm saying? About 2 of these joints. Like, I love my A7S III. It is a phenomenal camera, but what I don't love is when a company sit there and they start pushing my shit to the side like it don't even matter. Like, this is my first Sony camera I ever purchased, right? The Sony A7S III was the first Sony camera I ever purchased. Before then, people were telling me Sony is very good with updates and things like that. So when I got this camera, I was expecting for it to be supported for years to come because they supported the shit out of the A7 III. So I'm like, okay, I know what the A7S line, I know what Sony, I'm buying into an ecosystem in which they are going to support their cameras. Shit, ain't looking like that right now with this A7S III. So out the gate, number one, the first reason I know the A7S line is about to die is because the lack of updates that they are just not feeding this camera. Even the new cameras, the FX30, if you look at the FX3 new update, if you look at the Sony A7R5 that is dropped, all these cameras have like a new display system essentially where your battery, like the Sony A7R5 essentially looks like the FX30 like HUD display. You feel what I'm saying? Like you can see a battery icon in the right top hand corner. Everything doesn't look so like jumbled up together where you gotta have certain features on us to even see shit. Like, why don't we even have that in the Sony A7S line, Sony? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's just inexcusable. Number two, I mean, I know the Sony A7R5 just dropped today, and I get that right, but the fact that this camera is only $500 more, and I actually get 8K and a better articulating screen where it's almost like the S1A screen, but to me, better because it's not a stick, and it actually can fully come away from the body itself. That would be very helpful. Not all the time, but I need to sit there and flip my screen out on the Sony A7S line. If I'm doing a high shot, sometimes I want to tilt it down. Granted, you can flip the screen out and then point it down. I get that, but give me the options, right? Now, granted, this camera is made 2 years after the Sony A7 has dropped, but again, it's only 2 years, fam. And I say 5 or 6, I said 2 years. So 2 years ago in 2020, they damn sure could have put that screen on the A7S III. We're not cutting them no excuses, B. You paid your money just like I did. I'm not giving that ass no out. Hook my camera up. Don't make me feel so slighted with my A7S already. Number 2, the A7S III price, like, yo, bro, it has dropped at least 25% in what you can find for in a used market. You can literally pick this camera up for right now. Like, I just copped this one for $2,750, but there's some on there for $2,600. I think down there, I done seen one as low as $2,500. Bro. A 25% decrease in 2 years for what was arguably one of the best camera lines they ever produced. Like, think about this, man. People were like, damn, the dick riding Sony, like, yo, we need an A7S III. We had this A7S II for years, blah, 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 right? The A7S II was like damn near like the GOAT of cameras. Like, everybody loved the A7S II. So when the A7S III dropped, it was like, finally, we got everything we wanted perfected in a 4K camera. 2 months later, they drop an FX3. Well, damn, Sony, I would have bought that camera, you know what I'm saying, if I'd have known that was coming. And then y'all give it a top handle, XLR, like you'll give it everything that like we wanted in a video-centric camera in which the A7S line was supposed to be. Talking about it stands for sensitivity. No, it stands for sorry. Sorry, because we ain't fucking with y'all no more on that camera. By the way, if you're liking this episode of What the Frame, please like the video and share the video and subscribe. Also, I make this video also to tell you all about lens rentals. If you want 15% off your next rental, please use coupon code Brooks15. I rock with Lens Rental heavy. I just rented the 24-70 GM Mark II lens from Lens Rental. Couldn't ask for, you know what I'm saying, couldn't ask for better service. You want 15% off your next rental, use coupon code Brooks15. So before we move on to the last point, I am very curious right now. If you do own a Sony A7S III, are you pissed off so far that they just been shitting on us with updates and dropping new cameras that are definitely just better than our camera? I'm curious if you were looking at a Sony A7S III, but after you've seen all these other cameras coming out, are you still considering that camera? Now, the last reason I know, and this kind of coincides with the other reasons that I listed, but I just know this because I'm like, you know, I was your boys in corporate America long enough. I know how this shit works with corporate America when they see dollar signs and how shit gotta make sense, right? Okay. They're replacing the Sony A7S line with the FX line, period, right? If you look at the gap they're building, like they didn't make another Sony A6600, some shit like that, right? They knew that they wanted another video-centric body, right? That's why they made the FX30, which is exactly the FX3 with an APS-C sensor. Okay, cool. But if you look at the support they're giving the FX line versus the support they're giving the A7S III, it's not even close. It's not close. It's not close. And why would I continue to dump resources in an A7S line when I'm sitting here trying to bridge the gap, right? I want it to be where if you are a hybrid shooter, then you get the Sony A7 IV, but you're gonna get crops with those, right? You're gonna get crops in 4K 60. Or if you're photography mainly, you can get the Sony A7R V, which arguably can be, damn it, can kind of be argued as better than a Sony A1 for cheaper. We already knew that the Sony A1 was overpriced when that motherfucker came out, so there's that. And now look at the Sony A7R V, it's like, damn, so actually the A7S III and the A1 are the forgotten cameras. We're gonna stick with the A7S III. But then you look at the FX line, like it's literally just geared towards video content creators. They remove the EVF because they know 9 times out of 10 you're looking at the back of the LCD screen. They give you a top handle for audio, so that's like, well, if we're gonna remove the EVF, we're gonna give you a top handle so you can sit there and use your camera for video-centric purposes like you intend to, right? But just think about how much they're catering to the FX line and pushing it to be Netflix approved and all this shit, right? And then look at the Sony A7 line is definitely going towards photo hybrid type of thing. The FX line is going to be moving to video centric, right? So we know if they're putting into our math with their marketing that the FX line is cinema, the Sony A7 line is for the hybrid photography shooter. Where's the S line? Boy, Sean B, man. I'm pissed off. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a little pissed off, but I'm out, man. I ain't got nothing else to say. Sony, you pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie. You pissed me off.